So my name's Andrew. I have a pretty, long history in the Canadian music business, looking at major labels and then a bunch of indie labels. So time at Universal and then Fontana North and Maple Music Recordings, Dynalone Records, and a bunch of things in that scope area. And maybe for about the last year and a half, I've been at Fanaply. We are an NFT company that is sort of focused on delivering and working with clients in the music, entertainment, and sport space in the world of NFTs exclusively. So we're the technology behind those clients being able to issue and sell NFTs. In its simplest form, an NFT is a piece of digital merchandise, in my opinion. So it's a piece of digital merchandise that uses blockchain technology. And what that allows is it allows digital authenticity and digital scarcity. So using the blockchain, you can verify that this NFT was issued from this team, this artist, this athlete, whatever it is. And then you can also create digital scarcity. So 1 unit of this NFT was minted to the blockchain, or 100 units of this NFT were minted to the blockchain. And because of those two factors, authenticity and scarcity, you can then create some value to these digital pieces of merchandise. Unlike, anybody can put a JPEG up on the internet and it doesn't necessarily have value. It's a bootleg, essentially, right? But because of the blockchain, you can create that sort of digital value and authenticity and scarcity. So my job, I'm the director of account management. And so I work with all of our clients on sort of the execution of their NFT campaigns. Because we do a lot in the music space, I think my skill set of having worked at major record labels and indie labels, I have a pretty vast understanding of what's going on in their world, like what it's like to set up a record release and market it, and everything you're trying to do there. And because our co-founders of Fanaply all come from the music industry, we've actually built a lot of tools that are music specific, correlated to NFTs. So I sort of understand our platform, our tools, our offerings. I understand what's going on the record label side or the artist management side, and can really make some good recommendations as to here's how you can use NFTs to amplify your album release marketing campaign. So I think because I have experience on sort of both sides, I am personally a good fit for my role. And then other sort of skills that I think are needed. Juggling. It's always a juggling act of, staying organized, staying on top of things, the chase that is required. I would say patience is another sort of virtue that is needed. And I think, what's relevant right now is, we don't have a single client that is making their revenue or even, significant portions of their revenue from NFTs. We're still very, very early stages in the world of NFTs. And so at a record label or an artist management or sports team, it's always a little experimental right now still. And a lot of people are doing it kind of from the side of their desk. And I think me having patience and understanding that they're doing it that way, and, everything else that they're juggling. And now they've been asked to handle our Web3 strategy or handle our NFT strategy. I recognize that. I understand that. I'm sympathetic to that. And in my follow-up and in how I try to interact with them, I think I'm very cognizant of that. And so we are very much let us do as much of the heavy lifting as we can, offer solutions. A lot of our clients just don't know the space yet. And so there is we have to make the recommendations. Here's what I would suggest you do and why, as opposed to a client coming in and just telling us this is exactly what I want. So an understanding of where we are in the market is a good skill to have. I think right now, I've said this earlier, we're really just kind of the beginning stages of NFT. It's the tip of the iceberg. So I think there's probably a lot more to come. One of the trends though that I think we're seeing a lot right now is, fans demanding utility with their NFTs. And so I kind of see this as NFTs being a gateway to a fan club. It's monetizing that, for the most part, something for your super fans. And so I think a producer, an artist, anybody in that area can create a new revenue stream that's not cannibalizing any other revenue streams. I think it's going to be incremental to start. but over time it's going to grow. And I think you use NFTs as a way to reward your fans, really tap into super fans and give them access to special things. Those special things might be meet and greets at shows. Those special things might be demos a super fan would be interested in hearing, but it's not necessarily going to get you 10 million streams on Spotify. But you can create a little package and have that NFT be what grants you gated content access to a demo or a video or some form of connection with the artist. So I think right now that is the mechanism that NFTs are going to sort of add revenue to an artist stream. I don't think it's going to take over music distribution. It's not going to be the new Spotify. And I don't think anybody wants it to be or should want it to be. I think you need to surround yourself with other people. You need to go to shows. You need to be active and present. You need to be curious. When I was starting out, I didn't care if a person's job was boring. At one of my first jobs was at Universal Music Canada. I didn't care if that person's job was boring and, I don't know, stats driven or whatever. I was just curious as to their path. So I think a healthy curiosity and openness to ask questions and talk to people and understand their journey of how they got to where they are and what they do is really helpful. I think surrounding yourself, immersing yourself in the world of music, going to as many shows as you can, being present at whatever industry events are happening, all of that is helpful. Patience is another one. I don't think you can't expect a year is gonna go by and all of a sudden you're the vice president. Doesn't work that way. You really have to earn your way up. So patience, curiosity, and really dive into the scene.